A very good day to you people. My name is Mohit, and guys, today we'll see how to create gradient boxes using CSS. Specifically, we'll be using CSS 3. Let's start. I'm going to click on this create new HTML button, and next what I'll do is, guys, I'm in the code view right now. Okay, let me come off the code view and shift to the split view. Also, you should note that I'm in the classic workspace, guys. Alright, now what I'm gonna do is, guys, I'm gonna insert a div tag onto the document. I'm gonna click on insert layout objects and then div tag. I'm going to give it an ID, and the ID that I'll give it is called gradients. And then I'm going to click on this new CSS button and I'm going to say OK. Guys, next I need to define the rules for gradients. I'll go to the box category and I'll choose the width to be a 800 and a height to be a 600. Alright. Then I'll go to the background category. Guys, I'm working with gradients, and what I want is that just in case the browser is not compatible, is not able to show the gradient, the linear gradient. We'll be working only with linear gradients in this specific tutorial, guys. And just in case the browser is not able to show up the linear gradient, it should fall back to a background image, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do just in case. Alright, because most of the modern browsers, the latest versions of browsers, are able to display the CSS 3 gradients, but just in case the viewer is not using the latest browser, then he will not see the gradient, in which case he should be able to see the image that we are going to specify now. So I'm going to click on this browse button, and then I'm going to locate the image that he should be using, just in case that he would be viewing, just in case the linear gradient isn't seen. So I'm going to click on this image and then I'm going to say OK. Also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say background repeat, no repeat, and then I'm going to say apply and then say OK, and say OK once again. Guys, notice that the image shows up now. Let me show you a preview in Chrome. I'm going to call this file gradients as well. Okay, so guys, this is the left top of the image. It's a very big image, guys. It's a very big image, and this is the left top of that image. It again is more or less like a gradient. It's darker out here, it's lighter out here. Alright, so just in case the person is not able to use and see the gradients, he'll be seeing this image. Very good, guys. Next what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this gradients rule that I've just created. I'm going to hand code my CSS 3, which will be responsible for the gradient. In fact, let me go to the code view. That'll make it very easy for me to work. So what I'm going to do is, let me start off with Opera. Okay, I need to prefix the -o dash for Opera, -moz dash for these are called I think these are called vendor codes or vendor prefixes. Okay, so -o dash for Opera, -moz dash for Mozilla Firefox, and -webkit dash for Safari and Chrome. But I'm assuming, guys, that you're using the latest versions. You will fall back to a background image just in case you're not, and you're using a different browser than the ones that I mentioned right now. Okay, so -o dash, but before that I need to also specify background dash image, semicolon, -o dash, and then I need to say linear gradient, and in brackets, guys, I need to say, let's say a left, which means from left to right. Then I need to give the colors. So let's say a hash, and let me choose a blue color. Let's choose a very mild blue. Okay, and from this color to which color, so this to that. So the other color that will be responsible for the gradient will be a hash, and then I'll need to choose a slightly darker color. How about this? Alright, let me close the bracket up, put a semicolon in the end. Guys, this line number 12 will be responsible only for displaying the linear gradient in Opera, not any other browser. In any other browser, we'll fall back to the bg3.jpg image. Let's take a preview in Opera first. Dreamweaver says that do you want to save the changes to gradients, which is fine. Yes. And guys, a very nice gradient is right there on the screen now. Amazing. Wasn't that pretty easy? That wasn't difficult at all. Next, what I'm going to do is, guys, I'm going to add yet another shade. Yes, we can have multiple shades, multiple colors going for us. This time I'm going to take it one step higher as far as the darkness is concerned. So it's the darkest blue, light blue, slightly darker out here, and it's darkest out here. Alright, let me take a preview in Opera once again. Alright, so there's a different shade out here, and there's a different shade out here in the middle, and right at the extreme right you have a different shade. So there are three colors or shades that are forming this linear gradient. Oh, very nice, wonderful. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy line number 12, Control C, and then I'm going to hit enter and say a Control V. This time I'm going to cater to the Chromes and Safaris of the world, and so I just need to change the vendor prefix from a O to a WebKit. Okay, now again, guys, I'm assuming that you're using only the latest version of Safari and Chrome. Otherwise, you'll fall back to bg3.jpg. Let me take a published preview, this time in Chrome. Wonderful. Let me try Safari now. Guys, I'm using the latest versions. Please update to the latest versions in case you want to follow my tutorial and you want to implement it. One of the best places to download your files is filehippo.com, filehippo.com. That's where I download my softwares from. It's absolutely free, guys. Alright, so now that we have made Safari, Chrome and Opera happy, now it's my turn to make Microsoft Internet Explorer happy. So I just need to change the prefix from O to a MS. Guys, you need to have a minimum of IE10, I think. Right, I'll be previewing in IE8 because I don't have IE10, and we'll see how we can actually fall back to the image. This is the image, guys. See, I'll show you the image. I'll go to my local site folder. This BG3 is the image that I'm using. I'll blow it up. It's a pretty big picture, and the portion that you're able to see is just as much. Just as much. The top left piece or the part, only this bit. Okay, just the corner. That's all that you can see. It's a very big picture, guys. See, it's actually 2560 pixels multiplied by 1600 pixels, and the div that I'm using, guys, is 600 by 800 pixels, which means that you're only able to see the left top bit, the left top part. Alright, so now that I've made Microsoft Internet Explorer, WebKit and Opera happy by using my linear gradient, in the end we just have Mozilla Firefox left. So I'll make the changes accordingly. I'm going to change the MS to a MOZ, and now everything should be absolutely the way I want it. So Mozilla Firefox displays the linear gradient as well. Guys, there's one thing that you need to keep in mind. You can fall back to an image, also you can fall back to a color. I can of course remove this specific line completely, alright, like this, and then what I can do is I can go to my gradient CSS rule, and then I can go to the background category, change the background to, let's say, this one. Say apply and say apply and say OK. So we have a background color, right, that I can fall back to as well. Right, so let's take a preview in Internet Explorer to see how it fallbacks this time. So earlier it fell back to this image. Now it's fallen back to this color. And next, just to be sure that the linear gradients are in perfect health, I'm going to take the preview one by one. That was Chrome, coming up as Opera, and here is Safari. It's all very good. So you can fall back to an image, you can fall back to a color, and it's very simple, guys. You can choose 2 colors for the linear gradient or more than 2 colors. That's entirely up to you. And yes, you can change this left to, let's say, a top. Alright, so let me show it to you in Opera this time. Yes, so it's from top to bottom, so you can keep it at top. Top means top to bottom, left means left to right. Alright, so you can make the changes accordingly, and please implement it on your projects. You have good time. I'll see you with yet another Dreamweaver CS5 tutorial, or it may be Flash with ActionScript 3. Bye bye. Ciao.